Welcome back to the Dan Lab Makerspace, and today we're going to be learning how to vectorize an image using Adobe Illustrator. Now, the first thing you want to do is find your image. There are a few things that you want to note when choosing an image to vectorize. You want to choose an image that has solid colors and is a high resolution. To view the resolution, you can look here in Google. In the bottom, it'll show you the resolution of the image right here. And then to determine if the image is actually good for vectorization, it's pretty much just you judging it. We can see here that there are just solid colors: blacks, browns, whites, and oranges. There's 4 colors in this scenario. If we were to get an image like this of a family here, you can see that there are hundreds of thousands of colors within this image, and it is also very low resolution, judging by how small the image actually is here. You can see when you hover over an image, it'll show you its resolution. This is a high resolution image, you can see, resolution right there, but it still won't work very well because it's a full color image. We want to choose something that is much more like this. The next thing you want to do is either save or copy your image from the internet. We're just going to right click or control click on a Mac and click copy image. Then we're going to come over to Adobe Illustrator. I've already got a new file open up here, but to create a new one, you hit File, New, it will load. Shows you your new documents here. The actual sizing of your vector won't matter because you can change the scale actually in the laser engraving program or the CNC program, but if scale does matter, choose an appropriate size. We're going to go with 24 by 24 inch here just because it's one of the basic options. Now, so you've got our 24 by 24 inch artboard. We're going to hit Command V to paste our image in. Here we can see Benny, he's looking good. And up on the top, you'll see these options that have automatically popped up. And we're going to want to click on Image Trace, and it's going to image trace it for us, and it's going to look a little weird at first because it's going to try to automatically determine what it wants to look like. Obviously, this isn't what we want to laser engrave, so we want to click this image trace panel right here. You can see it's automatically selected black and white mode, which we don't want to do. So we're going to change this to color, and it's going to think. I'll say initializing pixel clustering. It'll think for a moment. Depending on how complex the image is, this may take some time on some of our older machines, but it usually should only take a couple of seconds, just like that. We can see now that actually looks pretty great. It is currently at 30 colors, which is a little bit more. Sometimes it'll take things like orange. You can see on the outside edge of these oranges here, it's actually multiple, which we don't want to do. So we're going to limit our colors to 5 in this case, because that's how many there are in this image. So initializing pixel clustering once again. And you'll see the border of those looks a little bit better. Let's try bringing it down to 4. See if that helps us even more. A lot of this really is just tinkering with these settings, trying to get the image looking how you want it. There we go. Now those oranges are gone. If you want to, you can click the advanced setting here and change how the vector is actually created. So higher paths will give you more complex lines. If you're doing something like a mandala that has lots of crazy curves to it and it needs to be very high resolution, then you want to go higher paths. Noise reduction and corners both help just make your image less fuzzy. Cornering, you can see these sharp angles here. If I bring corners higher, it'll help get rid of those, but in this case, I think we're alright with them. So we're going to go ahead and close our image trace function here. And now, since we just want to laser engrave Benny's head and not this outside, what we're going to do is click Expand. It's going to show you all the different paths. I'm going to triple click to select just individuals. And I want to delete all the portions outside of Benny that we don't actually want to engrave. In this case, it's all those little outer rings. And because this image is only going to be black and white since it's laser engraved, we actually want to get rid of all of the color parts, just so that we don't have double lining. What double lining is because there are technically 2 vectors in this case, it will engrave both those lines. So you can see now, when we just drag this part out, which you actually could have done first to make things a little faster, that we did lose our OSU, which we want to make sure we grab. So using Shift and click, we can grab our OSU section. You can see all these parts here. These are duplicate lines that are going to show up beneath things. You can also hit Command Shift D, and it will show you the background without the white. This is nice to help you figure out which parts are actually there. So see, these whites are pretty hard to see when you don't have that on. This helps them be more visible. So we're going to take all these. Actually, we lost the whiskers there too. So these guys, select all the pieces that you want. Drag them away. And we're going to get rid of everything else. And there we go. Our Benny is now vectorized. How you can tell it's actually a vector is if you go Option Zoom in and you look at these lines, there are no pixels. What a vector is, it's a mathematically drawn image. So all of these lines are perfectly infinite and there will be no pixels. It's how a laser engraver will actually think of something, and it's how we're going to want all of our images to be so they actually translate properly. Next thing you want to do is go File, Save As. I want to save this as an SVG. I'm just going to put it on the desktop and we're going to call it Benny.svg. I wouldn't recommend calling things something as simple as Benny. If you are a business team, say that you're Hat Team, you could go Hat Team to Benny and give it a more personable name so you know which files are actually yours. You also could create a folder on the desktop and save all of your things there. Just makes things a little simpler when going back and trying to find your files. So I'll save it. I'm going to bring up all these options. Doesn't really matter what these are. Just hit OK with whatever the base options that pop up are, and when you hit OK, that looks good. And that's it.